Hi, welcome to Before They're Verified, the podcast where we support people in their passions, regardless of the amount of likes or followers they have. Today we have Hunter Cohen as our guest, and he is the one directly behind the camera. But in just a second, he will be right here. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy. I get to actually look at a camera this time. Hi, welcome to Before They're Verified. I'm Hannah, your host. We are in a cool space. This is Hunter. He is our guest today. Hi, Hunter. If you are listening to this but not watching it, you can watch it because Hunter is a photographer, videographer, cinematographer, ographer, if you will.
Ographer.
You are an ographer. Anyway, so what we decided to do today was showcase your talents and showcase my amateurness and film.
No. No.
No, confidence is key. Mm-hmm. No, and film this version of the podcast. So, hi, you can see our faces, and this is scary and nerve-wracking. We are now in LA.
We are.
We live in Los Angeles. We met almost a month and a half after you got here.
Just about.
And like 2 weeks after Kendall and I got here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, everybody, we have a live studio audience. We won't bring her on, but Kendall is also here behind the scenes.
Do you just want to poke your head in?
She said hello if you can't hear her. But yeah, so Kendall and I moved here April of 2021, and you moved here March
4th.
So it was like 1 month apart. And I love this story because so many things had to align to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk for a minute and then I'll let you talk. But I just want everyone to know how we did meet and the circumstances, because Kendall and I moved here. We didn't have any jobs yet. And I was just like sitting on my phone, like scrolling on my phone one day, and I came across, as you guys may know him, Ty Verdes. Wonderful singer. If you've heard the song A-OK, it's everywhere. Hunter's lip syncing it. So I had found him on TikTok or something. He was doing a pop-up show for A-OK. Like the song was coming out like that night or the night before, and somehow I had never like seen him on social media before, and it happened to pop up on my phone that he was like, I'm doing a pop-up in Venice if anybody wants to come. So Kendall and I, literally within like 5 hours, decided to drive to Venice to do this pop-up because we were literally doing nothing else. We're sitting at the venue, it's right next to the Venice Beach sign or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The big V.
The big V.
That was a really bad choice of words. Wow. 4 words come out of my mouth and that's what it is. Sorry.
So, we were sitting next to the big V. There was probably like 50 or 60 people there. Like he was up and coming. Like this was a year and a half ago at this point. Listening to him sing all of his new songs that were coming out on his album. And Hunter happened to be the photographer.
Yeah.
You were just doing photography for him. You were really busy. Like you were working.
Right.
You were not there for leisure activities. You were working.
Yeah.
So like Kendall had heard your name, like someone call your name over or something, and we had noticed you and we're like, oh, he seems kind of cool. Long story short.
He is.
He's not.
He's not.
Long story short, we, being Kendall, found you on Instagram by your name. And we just reached out to you because we literally knew nobody in town, 0 people. And the rest is history.
I also didn't know anyone,
That does make me feel better.
It makes you feel better. Yeah, because I didn't have any friends here.
Yeah. So then, we just all started hanging out and talking, and we've been friends ever since, which is awesome. So that's how we met. But I want to backtrack because I think it's one of the craziest stories on how you ended up here. So already the circumstances of us meeting at Venice was crazy.
Right.
to have like to reach out on a whim and then become friends. But the way that you decided to move to Los Angeles, would you like to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I was living in Florida at the time, and I was on an app called Clubhouse. Have you heard of Clubhouse?
No.
So Clubhouse.
Oh, an app. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
just
that
recently.
like it's just a vocal app. So it's like
Okay.
it's like you only hear people's voices, and you can go to their Instagrams and like scroll through. And I was on there in a room full of photographers, and I was like always wanting to get out here. And we were having a conversation, and this lady named Tia said something about my work and my Instagram, and randomly said something about my work and my Instagram, and she was like, well, what's stopping you from moving out here? And I was like, I don't have a place to live. And she was like, well, we can fix that. And I was like, what do you mean we can fix it?
Yes.
So she was like, I have a place you can come to and stay for the first month or the first couple weeks, whatever. And so long story short, I took my guitar, my camera gear, a laundry basket of clothes that was probably like not big.
Yeah.
I had like a couple pairs of pants, whatever, and like $700. And I threw it in my car, and I couldn't come out. I couldn't make the drive out here alone. So
Right. Oh, by the way, because where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey originally.
Yeah. So you were Florida, New Jersey. You were literally all on the East Coast.
Yep.
How long of a drive is that?
That was from Florida to Jersey or from Florida to LA?
To LA.
So that was, the hours was like 37 hours in total.
Oh my
But
God.
then like that was without stopping or like
Right.
anything else. So it was 37 hours if we drove like directly straight through.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. But I'd say it probably took about 50 or 60 hours to get here.
Oh my God.
Because I was at the very bottom part of Florida, like almost
Jesus.
Miami. So I had to drive up Florida, which is like 7 hours itself, and then all the way over,
Oh my God.
which was interesting.
Okay. So
was
then
fun.
she said we can fix that.
So she said we can fix that, and so I went back on the Clubhouse app, and I into a room of photographers, and I found two strangers, and I flew one in from Chicago and one in from Hawaii, and then got in the car and drove out west, and then I dropped them off when we got out here, and I went to Tia's house,
Oh my God.
and they went wherever.
I don't think I ever, because I knew the story obviously of you driving all the way out
Yeah.
here. Literally, like you just made that decision in what, like 36 hours or something like that?
I think it was literally like 3 days.
But
like
yeah,
2 or
I
3
don't
days.
remember. I don't remember you flying other people out to drive with you. I forgot about that. part.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you drove out here. Now
Yeah.
I want to, I guess, kind of backtrack because you just turned 22.
Yes, like
Literally
2
like
days
a couple days
yeah,
ago.
2
Yeah.
days ago.
So you just turned 22, which
Yeah.
means you did this when you were 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I
So-
wanted out.
You wanted out. You
I
wanted
wanted
to get going. But you are from New Jersey and Philly
Mm-hmm.
area. And then you went to Florida. So what prompted you to move to Florida again?
I couldn't afford LA.
So that was like your
That was the
your
next
first
best.
step. Okay. So out of high school, you were like,
Out of high school, I spent I think 2 years at home,
okay.
and then I moved to Florida, and then moved back home because of COVID. When
Okay.
COVID first started, everything was shut down.
Yeah.
The restaurant I was working at closed. And so I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have any money. So I packed my things up again and drove back to New Jersey. And then again, I was like, okay, when I got back to New Jersey, I was like, seasonal depression sucks because
Yeah.
it's snowy and rainy and gray, and I didn't want to do anything. And then I drove back down to Florida to give it a second shot.
Okay.
And then once I realized that this was stupid, like being here was stupid, I was like, I'm going to California.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing I did.
Where does it come from? Because where does your like pack a bag and leave come from? Like, do you know? I ask a lot of psycho
No, that's fine. I love
analysis
it.
questions here because I like to get down into the whys of everything. But you weren't the best in high school, right? You weren't the best student.
I was the worst student. And I was the worst student I'd say in high school. I think it started late middle school, but high school for sure.
So it was probably, was it mainly like you just wanted to do what you wanted to do all the time?
100%. 100%.
But we'll get into it too, but that can be a blessing and a curse as long as, you don't go too far down the rabbit hole pretty much,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay. So you made the decision and you just sent it out here. What, I don't think I've ever asked you this. What was the very first job for photography, not in LA necessarily, but that you ever got?
Oh wow.
Like job,
So I actually wasn't a photographer to begin with.
Okay.
So I started with making wedding videos.
Right. Okay. Yes.
And so I then eventually, like later, like years after I learned video, I was then, okay, photo, I want to try that too.
Okay.
And so I started that, but the first thing I've ever done was just filmed a wedding.
Okay.
At like, I think I was like 16.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 7.
No, I would. That'd be cool. 7-year-old.
Yeah.
I think I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to just pick up a camera and start, like, because I remember you telling me a little bit about, did your dad get you a camera or your mom or someone gave you a camera when you were really young, right?
So I wanted to be a DJ.
Okay. Okay.
And I was like a little bedroom DJ, and I like had my own little speakers and that stuff.
That's awesome.
And then I started to work for this company when I was 15. I knocked on the dude's window in a parking lot and introduced myself at 15. And then, long story short, like 2 years went by and I was like DJing for him and learning how to do all that stuff for his company. And then he bought a camera and then asked me if I wanted to try filming a wedding. And then he handed me a camera. He didn't like give it to me, but he gave me a camera for that time and said, do you want to go shoot a wedding? And I was like, yeah, like let's try it. And I've never put down a camera since then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Okay, so then you just always had it, like it was more of a hobby though? Because you said you like worked at a restaurant in Florida and...
So it's always been a job, but it's a very like unstable, it's a very like unstable job. Yeah. Especially at that age too. Yeah.
Lots of creative things are very unstable, unfortunately.
I think anything anything that is creative is unstable for at least the first 10 years, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know, 5, 7, whatever it might be.
Yeah. But ever since I've known you, you've had that mindset of like, just say, yeah, you're a yes man, basically, like figure it out later kind of a thing. But you're a good person in that sense of like, you'll actually figure it out. Like you won't.
Sometimes. Most of the time, yes.
Yes. Okay, so that was like your first, so you did weddings, and then in Florida you decided, okay, no, I need to take a chance and move to LA where everything's at.
Yes.
So then this makes sense because you film a lot of concerts, musicians, DJs, things like that. So you love music, and so you basically blended the two together. So you were like, weddings, not for me.
Weddings were for me when I was first learning and getting started, but as I developed what I like weddings can be a really awesome career, but it's the same thing continuously, whereas music is so different. There's so many different genres and so many different people and artists, and each person has their own look and all that stuff. So I think as far as like a career, once I realized what I wanted to do career-wise, I switched to music. Yeah.
So then you moved here, and what was your very first gig here?
Ooh.
Do you remember?
It was Lauren Sanderson. I DM'd her directly and introduced myself and asked her if she would want to work, and she said yes. And so I went and like picked her up, and we just took a hike somewhere and walked around a neighborhood, and that kind of started.
I wish I had that.
A bunch of everything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
A bunch of everything.
A bunch of everything.
I like that.
Does that work?
Yeah.
A bunch of everything.
I think it does.
Okay.
We're going with it.
Let's go with it.
A bunch of everything.
Bunch of everything.
This is what gets me, because you are so young, but you put yourself out there in the most professional, mature way. Like, I don't know if any past person that you've worked with is going to ever listen to I just touched my mic, is ever going to listen to this podcast. Hi, if you are. But do they know how old you are?
Some people do.
Okay.
Some people do.
Okay, because if you had DM'd me, say I was really famous, and you DM'd me, I probably would have looked at your stuff and been like, you're like 27. No. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, I try to keep age out of it.
Okay, awkward.
I try.
We're going to bleep out every single time I've said his age today.
No, that's fine. No, that doesn't matter. I try, like, when I like reach out to somebody, I will never like purposely be like, I'm a 22-year-old photographer, or I'm a 21. But like, for people to know how old I am, I mean, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I'll never like go out of my way to like let you know how old I am, if that makes, unless it was like a question.
Yeah.
Or something.
I mean, age is just a number.
Age is just a number.
Yeah. So you're mature enough, and
Sometimes.
obviously all the people. Yes. Well, that's what's cool about getting to know you in like a friend way too, is that like I've seen you work on sets before, so professional, like everything is done wonderfully, and then, like,
then you meet me in
we'll
real
be
life.
watching like Ted Lasso and just making shit up. Okay.
On a personal level.
Yes.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, yeah, I mean, I think separating work and fun is definitely necessary in the creative industry.
Yes.
Especially when you're having to form these relationships, Los Angeles and all these crazy locations where networking is key and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, anyway, but so you are DMing all these people.
Yeah.
But you had done work that you like had. Did you have a website, or were you just promoting through your Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, and so you were just DMing all these people. So basically, you were just hoping people would take chances on you.
Yeah, I still do that to this day.
Yeah, and it's just like domino effects from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you have worked with a couple of cool people. And that's really cool. I just wanted to, because I want to ask you what the difference is in filming concerts, music videos, and then like still photography, because you just got off tour with Anson. How do you pronounce his last name? Seabra?
Seabra.
So pretty.
Anson Seabra.
Anson Seabra.
Great dude.
Lovely. So you were his...
I was his photographer and videographer.
Okay.
So doing both at the same time.
Yeah, yes. And then you just filmed Loveless, the band Loveless, their music video for Middle of the Night, which I was very grateful Hunter invited me and Kendall to come watch that and to see how he worked, and it was really, really cool, and Loveless is super cool, the band. So, and we can talk about this.
Yes.
Now you're going on tour with Loveless. So again, the domino effect has been created here with all of your stuff. So I don't want to like make you choose like what your favorite thing is, but like what do you like better about filming like music videos versus shooting concerts?
I think music videos they're obviously very separate, but music videos are controlled, I guess would be the best way to explain it. Right. Music videos are controlled. You can have a controlled story, a controlled lighting and space and everything else. You can control absolutely everything about it. Right. Whereas a concert, you have zero control because you can't talk to the whoever's on stage. You can't be like, yeah, throw your hand at like whatever. Yeah. So there's just absolutely no control. So it's just kind of like you get what you get. Yeah. And make it look good while you can in like the short amount of time that you have most of the time. How do you do both? When we came to watch Anson's show, you have a camera around your neck, but then you also have your other camera? Is that how it works? It's like I have figured out the easiest way for me so far. It's never going to be perfect, but so far for now, what seems to work is a photo camera around my neck that kind of just swings out to my hip and just kind of hangs out there. And then I have a video camera gimbal in my hand. and so I can quite literally simultaneously hold the gimbal while taking photos at the same time.
And you just have to get used to that?
Yeah.
Do you like practice? Is that a weird question?
No,
do
I
you
don't.
Practice that?
Yeah, I actually go to the gym and hold when I walk on the treadmill, and when I run, I actually bring the cameras with me. And
It's perfect.
yeah.
What was the first concert like then, filming and doing that? Because was Anson's your first tour that you went on?
Anson was my first tour.
That you ever did?
Yeah.
So what was it like? Because I know that you can get, correct me if I'm wrong, you can get like photography passes, right, to concerts and venues, so that you can take kind of like freelance it yourself. Like you're not getting paid for it, right? Like you're not doing that. So you could, I guess that was like your introduction to.
Basically.
And then the first concert night of Anson's was just when you had to be like, hey, here we go. Is that
pretty much? Yeah.
What was the first concert?
Pretty much. Like? The first concert, I was able to see him do his sound check in the afternoon prior to his actual concert, like to that night.
Okay.
So I was kind of able to see. I didn't get the whole night, but I got like a decent part of it.
Gotcha.
So I could kind of figure out ideas on where to be and what to do. But really, it was like I completely winged it, and like that's just kind of what had to happen. Like, because then there were people there, and I couldn't go certain places because there were people standing in the way, and I couldn't get around like I planned on. It's just kind of like when you make a plan like that, it just kind of went right out the window.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes.
But you're so good in those situations, because, in my opinion, because you're so go with the flow and like, well, can't do that.
It's a lot of adapting, for sure.
Okay.
A lot of adapting.
Wow.
And quickly, like very, very, very quickly.
I would be stressed if the artist or someone really wants a shot. But I mean, I guess you have so many tries with a tour.
Right.
So that's a little different than anything else. So, okay. So, yeah, that's not as scary. And then you just get used to it every
and then every night's
venue.
pretty much the same as far as, but then you start to learn the songs. So like, for instance, like Anson had, when he played Walked Through Hell, everyone would take out their phone flashlights. So then I cued that in my head every night. Okay, when Anson plays Walk Through Hell, I'm going to run up behind him on stage so I can get the shot of everyone with their flashlights. And you start to kind of pick out each moment, like little moments from each important sections, you know.
So then with music videos, like you said, you can have it like as a plan, more planned out, which like I really enjoy directing and filmmaking. So it's kind of combining the two, music and filmmaking. With music videos, what are your passions with directing? Do you really like it, or would you prefer just someone to take over the directing part and you just film it?
Eventually the goal is to become a director.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like my like complete long-term goal, but I do enjoy directing a lot. Cool. And if I had, for certain music videos, if I have a larger budget, I could actually hire a director of photography, which is the cinematographer who comes in and operates the camera. And in a perfect world, I would like to be the one to just have the vision and then have somebody else create it.
That's how I feel.
But until I get to that point, I have to make it for myself, and then, or bigger music video budgets or whatever, I have to figure out how to do that first, all on my own, and then eventually work up, you know.
But it's probably nice, because then once you do get to that point, you'll know everything the DP is doing.
Exactly.
So you can work with them and around them, and it'll be like you have this unspoken thing where you know everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm the knower of all.
Yep. I think most directors were camera operators or
knew something about
that. Because I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who just have the vision. Yeah. But I feel like you have to have that background of, okay, like, how do we get it to look like this? Right. And, you know, go from there.
So your long-term goals then, directing still in the music realm or anything? I mean, I'm assuming you're pretty open to whatever.
I definitely am. You have to be in the I think this is something for all creatives, but you have to be open to everything in order to, you know, because then you get to learn about each piece of whatever makes the world content, you know, as far as TV and movies and commercials and this, that, the other. This second, I'd say like brands, commercials, and music are probably or commercials and music are probably my main two.
Okay.
For now, and it might change tomorrow or a week from now or 3 years from now, but for now, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe we can co-direct something with
I'd love to. I would 100% love to.
We'll do our spin-off of New Girl.
Down.
By the way, okay, I have to say this.
Yeah.
Because Kendall and I need to take credit, and I want the validation.
Go for it.
Okay, good. When we met Hunter, we had asked him like his favorite shows or something, and you're a massive fan of Parks and Rec, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Parks
was
and Rec.
one of your main shows.
And The Office.
And The Office, right? Kendall and I love New Girl. So we were like, oh, so you've seen New Girl, right? No. This person never. Sorry to anybody who's never seen New Girl. That's what
Hannah's going to yell at you.
Because it's one of my favorite shows of all time.
It's a great show.
It's a great show. So we got you hooked on New Girl.
Yes.
So that's...
I was forced.
Maybe we made him watch it. But actually it's very fitting because we are in downtown.
Yeah.
In a loft.
It looks...
And there's a brick, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's like, yeah, you can. There's like a brick kind of situation going on. So we're living our New Girl moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, once we became friends, we started going on more trips and drives and camping and all these kinds of things. So we made a playlist on Spotify called The Adventure Pals. And I have made collaborative playlists with other people, and it goes nowhere. It's like for a party or something, and you just add, 20 songs that are on repeat, and then you never touch the collaborative playlist again.
Right.
I am so proud of our playlist.
I am too.
Like, I think it's great. It has every single genre besides maybe, actually, no, I think it might have
It's got every genre
I was
in there.
going to say, Screamo, but, Loveless has some Screamo in it.
Maybe other than jazz or,
that's true.
the not so common genres.
Yeah,
so
that's
common
true.
in quotes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's got country, it's got pop punk, it's got indie. EDM, rap.
Yeah.
R&B. It has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to go follow our adventure, actually I don't know if you can.
I think
it's a really good playlist.
It is.
But I wanted to ask you, who are people you want to work with to either shoot music videos, concerts,
Got you.
tours?
Okay.
Let's name drop. Here
okay, we can name drop. So
I know one of them.
One of them, yes. Well, I'll answer the obvious one first.
Okay.
One of them is going to be Noah Khan.
Yeah.
Noah, if you're watching this, I love you. No, I'm kidding. Noah, if you're watching.
In a respectful manner.
Yes,
he loves
of course.
you.
One would be I would love to tour with Noah. Mm-hmm. I would love to tour with State Champs. Mm-hmm. And then I would also like to tour with Morgan Wallen. Mm-hmm. I think that would be. I know it's three very different genres, but. I would love to tour with a country artist too at some point.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
I mean, that pulls everything, every genre that we were talking about in the playlist and stuff too. Into, I mean, one day, I think it'll happen.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
I'll keep working on it.
Right. Well, I feel like with social media these days, it's probably easy and hard. And I'd like to talk about social media a lot on the podcast because since I titled it Before They're Verified, it kind of has this weird connection with social media. For me, social media kind of gives me anxiety. And there's already a hierarchy within it, and then putting on verifications and likes and follows and stuff like that. As much as it shouldn't matter.
Right.
For certain people, it actually does.
Mm-hmm.
And creatives being one of them. For you, I know that you've tried to get verified because it pretty much, your Instagram is your portfolio.
Yeah.
So there's that whole process of the verification, which takes a long time, which you need all of these...
You need news articles.
Things.
You need a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just to get verified. So... Before They're Verified, Hunter has tried. And
multiple times.
Yeah, but I think I guess I want to get your opinions on how social media affects your work.
So it's not Okay, so preface.
Yeah.
Being verified, unless you're Justin Bieber or like some crazy celebrity, is pointless. Mm-hmm. That's the end. And I know that for sure. Like it is.
Yeah.
It's so dumb that people want verification, including myself. I think it's
everyone.
I'll say it. It's stupid that I want to be verified. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But I think that going back to the age thing, that's kind of I think why I want it is because it is if I'm being honest with myself too, it's a validation for myself that I, as a young kid, am able to get something like that, but then also, I guess it shows people that I can prove that I've proved myself.
Right.
Even though that shouldn't matter,
Yep.
because in my own humble way, I know I've proved myself just by even figuring out how to live here to start.
Yeah.
But it would help open doors
Yeah.
that might not, in other cases, open.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I moved here, I was just reaching out to get like extra jobs, but because of COVID, I couldn't talk to anybody. Like I couldn't actually network with anybody on any of the sets that I was on. So then after the fact, I'd have to like email the producer and be like, hi, if you ever need anybody else, I was the girl in the corner with the other black mask on that you couldn't see to connect with them. But I just wish more people, I guess, really got to know one another. I know it's just, you have to have a gut feeling, I guess, about it. But I guess that's what I'm trying to do with the podcast, is to showcase people like you or whoever who's like, hey, I'm doing these things that I'm passionate about. I think I'm really good at them, which, by the way, you are very good at your job.
Thank you much.
And let me show you what I am like personally, why I like to do my job, because it's so weird to just go by yourself and say that about yourself.
Yeah, it is.
In a creative world on social media where everyone's looking at you and trying to decipher if it's, if you're being conceited or not.
Right. And most of the time people think you are.
You are.
But then there's always a little case of like someone being like, oh, well, you should say that about yourself. And like, yeah, like everybody should compliment themselves.
Yes.
But it's just not a natural, I'll call it, because it's not a natural thing to do. Like
sometimes I just struggle with the, not definition, I guess, but kind of like the meaning behind the podcast, because I am rooting for people to get verified. Like I want to make that clear, but I'm not rooting for them to get verified in a like, because it puts you one peg up. I'm rooting for you to get verified because that means you put so much work into yourself and your job that you deserve that. You just have to, again, trust your gut and know that the people you're reaching out to are the people that you look at, you actually get to know them and know that they're trustworthy and genuine people, which is kind of hard to find sometimes. So
and verification originally wasn't even made, it's not even made for like, oh, this person knows what he or she is doing. Let's check their, check box their Instagram. The only reason verification exists is to let you know who the real celebrity is.
Right.
That's the only reason that blue check mark exists, nothing else. It's just turned into this social status of, oh, he's got a blue check mark, or she's got a blue check mark, or they have a blue check mark. Like, they must be the shit, or they must be cool, or know what they're doing. Like, it's not even meant for that. That's why it's stupid. It's so dumb. Like, my friend Chase would always, I'd be like, yeah, like, I'm trying to get verified. He'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's like, you don't need a verification for people to know you're good, or like for you to know you're good. Like, you should know that already. And like, sometimes you don't. Like, that's, that's the way it is. But he's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. He's like, you don't need the stupid blue check mark. And I was like, I know, but I need it. And I was like, now I'm just kind of like over it. Like, I'm starting to get over it. I'm like, okay, like, it's not gonna, or it won't happen now, whatever, maybe in the future, cool. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I still get to do what I love doing.
But it's cool too, because like we were talking about earlier, you went on tour with Anson, you're going on tour with Loveless, you're already in the like environments of all these amazing artists. So you're going to get to the point of verification, even if it's not the little blue check, but you're validating yourself. You're verifying yourself because you're doing the work and you're You're literally working so hard. I just want to point out,
Trying.
you're, I know you won't, I know you won't say this about yourself, but you have the fastest turnaround I have ever seen. You like filmed something and then Kendall and I said something about like, oh, well, just let us know when you want to like hang out next. And you're like, okay, I'm just editing this music video.
I think that was the Loveless one.
Was it the Loveless one?
I think it was Loveless. I think I had that music video out was,
yeah.
I think by the time we finalized everything was a week, maybe not even.
Yeah, because
like
that was the one. Yes, because you invited us to watch,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go edit now."
Mm-hmm.
Literally 48 hours later, I think they had it up on their social media.
Yep. Well, it's so like that's the whole thing, and Tor did that, honestly.
Okay.
But then even prior to Tor, I realized that especially out here, like it takes forever for people to get what they made.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to figure out how to make it take so much like less time.
Yeah. You did it somehow.
Somehow, but I try to not do it so fast anymore because I don't want it to sacrifice. Well, it sets a bar. It sets a bar, but then I don't want it to seem like it's. Even though I'm doing it really well still, I don't want it to feel like it was rushed. Like, oh, this could have been so much better if it were done 2 more days, versus 2 days. Right. So, but yeah, that was Tor. But that is Tor. Like, being on the road, things have to be done by the next morning.
That makes sense.
Or an hour after the show's over.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
Jesus.
So.
You're crazy in the best way. I wanted to ask you kind of one more question and then we can get into some rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the question before the rapid fire though is obviously you've found your niche and your love of these specific things that you film, but what is one thing that you enjoy leisurely doing where it's not necessarily connected to your job in relation to photography? Like what kind of photography do you like or videography? Do you like to do? Do you even like to do it outside of work?
Sometimes. It depends. It depends. It's definitely. So I mean, when I was like little, before working, much before working, I would like go outside and like take photos with like my grandmom of like leaves and snow and like just random, give a kid a camera, see what happens kind of thing.
Give a mouse a cookie.
I should make a book, make a children's book called Give a Kid a Camera.
Cute.
It's actually a great idea.
You've heard it here first, everybody.
But I still enjoy taking photos of things that, like if I were to take a walk, and bring my camera, I would take photos of a palm tree or a sidewalk or trash on the ground, like whatever, but like things that are so opposite from what I do for a living. So like, but then sometimes like I don't even pick up a camera on this, like if I'm not working sometimes, which is fine. Like it's not like my job ruined it for me. Right. But sometimes I just don't feel like working, shooting, I don't know, but if that made any sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Because when we drove to Big Sur, which was really cool.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, so like that probably, you want to capture how beautiful it is, kind of a feeling. Which also, you're...
and friends too.
Yeah.
Because I was taking pictures of you guys.
Yes. I'm so fascinated by photography because I love cinematography and things like that. But you told me, oh no, it was when we were camping up in California, but not Big Sur. We did another trip. We do so many cool trips.
We did.
When we saw the shooting star camping. I'm just gonna call that our shooting star camping from now on.
That's fine. I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. But you showed me something about I don't know, you're telling me something about the different ways that you could shoot. And I was like, wait, so then you could do it this way too? And you're like, yeah, that's what's great about photography. There's a million different ways to get the same shot. And I'm like, I hate that. Yeah. Like, how do you keep it all in your brain? I don't even know how to comprehend what you do, to be honest.
I don't either.
Okay.
The real answer is I actually have no idea what I'm doing, and that might sound like funny or like silly or like I'm being a smartass, but like I mean, I know. Okay, I know what I'm doing to an extent, and I
Yeah.
think that's every photographer. That's what I would envision, because the entire idea behind photo and arts and painting, whatever you do in some anything creative, is just most of the time subjective.
Right. I get that now, actually, that you said that, because it's hard for me to see that in photography or like videography, but now that I think about it with cinematography, that 100% makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But so now I can apply it to photography and video. I don't know. I think sometimes I'm just so like, oh yeah, it needs to be one way. I need to definitely break out of that box. Because I'm like half, left brain, half right brain. So.
Right.
But yeah, with cinematography, you 100% know the style of all these different cinematographers, and that's kind of where you're coming from too. Like you can have a style, but then you can veer off of it because you've learned how to use your style to its fullest extent. That allows you to break out of the mold and try something new and do something new with it too.
Right.
I love it.
And when doing things for clients too, sometimes it's not your vision, and sometimes you have to take someone else's vision and figure out how to make that. And that's when it gets more difficult. It's because it's no longer your ideas, it's no longer that's where the whole creative freedom gets locked up. Okay,
so are you ready for some rapid fire?
Yes.
Okay, hopefully, did you look at the question?
No, I really didn't, I swear.
Good. Okay, so rapid fire, you don't have to answer rapidly, even though it's in the name. You can go in depth if you so choose.
Okay.
But I just try to emphasize that it's the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay, let's do it.
There are 5 questions.
5?
5.
Okay.
Here we go. First question. What's your favorite coffee order?
Iced mocha. That's a latte for people that don't know.
Because
I didn't know. No, it is. I didn't know
it?
it was. And then my roommate works at a coffee shop.
Okay.
And I always said iced mocha latte.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's not it. He's like,
mocha.
it's just an iced mocha. And I was like, no, it's an iced mocha latte. And he's like, no.
That confuses everybody.
Just an iced mocha.
Just an iced mocha.
Yes.
Okay. A song that you'd like to learn on guitar.
Something by the Backseat Lovers. I would say I'd like to learn Olivia by the Backseat Lovers on guitar. It's a good song.
Good song. Okay. If you disappeared, where's the first place we should look?
The woods.
Just all of the woods? Every woods out there.
Yeah, I'd say the woods.
Okay.
Just find some big trees alone in like a very secluded place, and maybe find like a log cabin with a nice little fire outside.
And you'll have your guitar, and
That's
you'll be
where
learning
I'll be, on
Olivia.
the porch in the rain. That's what I want to do. That's what
Sounds nice. Okay. What is your emotional support television show currently?
My emotional support television show?
Yeah.
Probably Parks and Rec at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's been there for me through thick and thin.
It is your emotional support, everything. That's what is great about TV shows.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Alrighty, last question.
Oh, we're almost done.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Someone outside wants to answer for you.
I know, he does.
The perks of recording and filming in downtown Los Angeles.
It's the only thing.
But it makes it feel real.
It is real.
It is real.
It is real. That's actually what's happening.
Yeah.
Nothing is literally perfect.
Exactly.
I think we all need to get over that.
And it puts less stress on us,
Yeah.
too. I was actually, I know,
No,
you have
we've
one
got
more
time.
question.
It's okay, we're good.
But I'm giving you anxiety because there's one more question left, and I'm not letting you answer it. But I was actually thinking about that because we drove here all together, and I get anxiety from driving, which is very ironic for anybody who has listened to this podcast, because I make a living off of driving as a DoorDash driver. But I DoorDash in this like smaller town east of LA, like northeast of LA. So I'm never down here, but I talk a lot when I drive.
You do.
Hunter and Kendall can both attest to this, but I say everything I'm thinking out loud because I don't want people to think I'm a bad driver, which is a catch-22, because I say everything out loud, so it seems like I am a bad driver, but I just want people to know that I realize what's happening around me, so that's why I say it.
I love it.
Anyway, but it was kind of a really cool moment earlier. We were driving down here all together, to film the podcast
Yeah.
episode, and we were driving downtown, and one of Kendall and I's favorite things to do is whenever we drive to the beach or something is to go through downtown at night. And so, I don't know, it's just really cool, like the big signs, like it said I-5 Los Angeles or whatever, and I'm like, wow, we're really here, we're really doing it.
It's very
I don't
surreal.
know, it's kind of cool.
It still is.
That's my little
Hell
side
yeah. I love it.
cliche
I love it.
thing for the episode. But okay, last question, rapid fire.
Let's go.
If you had a dog, what would you name it?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say what kind.
We can do that too.
Well, it would be a husky or a German Shepherd.
So you liked my questionnaire on the online?
Yes. Yes, I did. Choose your favorite. It was a German Shepherd, yeah.
Or a husky.
Or a husky.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that. I thought they were both German Shepherds for a second for some reason.
Sorry, for anyone who's listening, I have a questionnaire, and the very, very last question of the whole thing is which picture of a dog wearing sunglasses do you like better? There's one picture of a husky wearing sunglasses, and there's one picture of a German Shepherd wearing sunglasses.
I'm pretty sure I chose the.
You
what's the
chose the
second
German
one?
Shepherd.
The German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
a husky or German Shepherd.
Cool.
I don't know.
What you'd name it?
What the name would be. Cool. I do know that it's got to be a guy.
A boy dog?
Yeah, because we can choose.
Okay, yeah.
For that, we can choose. We want a guy or a girl.
You want a boy dog.
I do want a boy dog.
Okay.
And it would be just it would be our fourth adventure pal. That's what I want.
Don't even joke about that.
That's what I want. Cause like, okay, I don't know who knows me, but I drive a Subaru.
I don't know who knows me.
No, like,
I know what you mean.
I drive a Subaru, and I've always envisioned my boy out the window of my Subaru on like a mountain trip.
That would be so cute.
Yeah, or like, cause I want a dog that can hike and like do things.
That's athletic,
and I feel like that's either a
outdoorsy,
husky or a German Shepherd or
definitely.
I don't know, Great Danes, but they're way too
They're
big.
really
They're
big. They
huge
probably
dogs.
actually aren't that fast because they're so big.
Yeah.
So.
But he's got to be a little homie.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know, maybe Toby.
Well, Toby.
Maybe Toby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just throw?
I just threw that out.
That's the definition of rapid fire.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and when we went to Big Sur, we saw that dog that had the bluest eyes, but it looked kind of like a border collie husky mix or something.
It did.
But its eyes, man, were like freaking.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was so happy to be there too.
She was. They were just
like
hanging
trotting
out.
around.
Her owner was there, but yeah, she just like came over and hung out with us. Oh my gosh.
So nice.
Beautiful dog.
That's what I want.
Cool.
Just send it to the mountains. And
I just realized, sorry, you said Toby,
mm-hmm.
and there's an episode of New Girl.
Wait, what?
So there's an episode of New Girl. I'm bringing New Girl back. I'm doing full circle.
That's fine.
I'm calling back. This is full Hannah writer-director mind here.
Sick.
Episode of New Girl, Schmidt. It's the episode where Schmidt and Nick and all the boys and Winston go to, like, out in the desert for Schmidt's bachelor party.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they're driving. Toby, bitch.
What?
Okay.
Why does he keep saying his name?
Is that your name? Is Toby your name? I think so. I think it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Toby the Husky.
Yeah, Toby the Husky.
Oh my god.
Or German Shepherd. Do they
right.
have a Husky / German Shepherd? Like, is that a crossbreed?
Yeah, there can be those.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably a sick dog.
I'm sure it's very confused. like its eyes are probably like blue and brown and everything. Because dogs can have two different colored eyes.
Yeah, Huskies do. Quite often.
Oh, right.
Quite often.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, cool. We're going to take a hard right turn and switch to the last thing we do with my podcast, which is I like to shed some light on other things. So the last thing I do is ask my guest a group, a charity organization that they support and want to talk just a little bit about. And then I will put that organization on my website. If it has a link on Instagram, I'll put it there too. But yes, Hunter, would you like to talk about the one you chose?
Yeah, so I screenshotted it purposely so that I could actually like read what they do instead.
That's nice.
Because
I didn't the details.
Yeah, I didn't. Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me?
Trying to talk about charity here.
We're being.
Thanks.
Thanks
a lot.
Philanthropic right now. So shut up.
Go
Thank
somewhere.
you.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Anyway,
so
So charity, I screenshotted it because I didn't want to. I wanted to read what they actually did rather than try to make it my own.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do that.
I love it.
So it's a organization called Creative Capital.
Okay.
And Creative Capital is a New York-based organization that provides financial support to artists through Creative Capital Award. Basically, they provide each project that's selected $50,000 in direct funding, and a career development service also valued at $50,000. So
Oh my gosh.
for a total, basically, it's a total of $100,000 they give per project.
That's so cool.
And basically their mission statement is insert motorcycle sounds.
Oh. That was great.
Anyway, basically their mission, it says right here, is to be able to give more artists than just direct support for a specific art project. Instead, the the organization acknowledges the entire career of an artist rather than just one project.
So cool.
So they're called Creative Capital, and they are New York based.
Awesome.
So
I've never heard of them.
yeah,
That's really cool.
They're like
Creative.
they're not tiny, but they're not big. They're just not like Red Cross or any of the massive ones.
Yeah.
Doctors Without Borders. Or,
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah.
I love that.
So
I'll have to check it out.
that is my organization.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
That wasn't so bad, right? We're not completely done in terms of like me saying goodbye to everybody.
No,
but like
I enjoyed it. I had
you
fun.
enjoy it?
I feel like I should give you a handshake. It was a pleasure.
I think that's the first time I've ever given you a handshake.
I also think it was.
You witnessed it here, everybody.
First,
My first handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Akis.
No, Billy, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad we could do this. And thank you for
Likewise.
producing. You're probably going to edit because
Yeah.
I don't have the
We'll edit
capability.
together. We'll do it together.
Yeah, we'll do it together, but you will be the actual physical editing. I will be behind your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, thank you for your equipment
Of
and
course.
filming. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll get verified one day, and maybe you won't. But regardless,
We'll see.
Kendall and I will be rooting for you on the sidelines.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
I'm gonna get up and walk away now.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Before They're Verified. Come back next week for a brand new guest, and keep up to date on the podcast by following Instagram and TikTok at Before They're Verified, and you can also check out my website, beforethey'reverified.com. Now, go and do something that makes you happy. I'll see you next week. Bye.